Hey guys, I'm Alastair from Trail and Kale, and this is my Nike Terra Kiger 9 review. Scratch that, it's my Kiger 9 review. Nike's clearly gone away with a Terra in the naming of this shoe after 9 iterations. I wonder why that is. If you know, let me know in the comments. Anyway, I'll probably never get used to saying Kiger instead of Terra Kiger, so if I do accidentally make a mistake in this review, apologies in advance. So I've been running in the shoes already for a little bit, got to a nice quiet spot on one of my trail routes. If you wonder why I'm looking around, by the way, it's just in case something jumps out. I'm in pretty much in the middle of nowhere on this little part of the trail, and there are all sorts of wildlife out here. Mountain lions, coyotes, cute little deer, all sorts is here, so I'm keeping my eye out just in case. So, the Terra Kiger 9, oops, I did it. The Kiger 9 has some updates from the Terra Kiger 8, which I reviewed last year. And by the way, if you did watch that, I'll read that. You'll know I absolutely love that shoe. Had a few issues, like the sizing being completely wrong, and you had to size down with that shoe. But overall, it was a really good shoe, and I was using it to race a lot of races in Europe and in the US as well, so I loved that shoe. So I'm excited to finally be able to try this shoe out and give you my thoughts on them so far. First off, who are the Kiger 9 trail running shoes for then? Well, they're very much an all-terrain, do-it-all trail running shoe. They're very lightweight, got very sticky grip with nice lugs, which have been improved by the way. And they just feel really comfortable thanks to that nice soft plush upper. So they really are for anyone who wants to run technical terrain and feel connected to the trails, because it is a nice low stack height with a low drop as well, which I'll go into in a second. So that's really who they're for. They're for those intermediate to advanced trail runners who want to just thrash the trails, have some fun out there, run on anything. Oh, and in case you're wondering, yes, I've got an English accent. No, I'm not in England. You don't get mountain lions in England. I'm in Northern California, where I'm based, and where Trail and Kale HQ is based. And by the way, Kiger 9 is climbing really well so far. It's got an updated outsole with more aggressive lugs and stickier rubber compound as well, so climbing really well. Well, I'm going to take a little break and share some of the key statistics nearly at the top of my climb, so now's a good time just to have a little breather. First off, the Kiger 9 costs $150. Interesting, because it cost $140 for the last version last year. I guess you can call that inflation. They now fit true to size, so a lot of you out there will be happy to hear that, myself included. Last year, the Terra Kiger 8 ran pretty long, but strangely it fit very well in width. So it was like, do you size down a half size, sort out the length, and struggle with a slightly tight shoe? Or do you just have slightly longer shoes? That was a conundrum that I faced last year, so I just ended up doing both. I bought them both and shared my opinions on both of them, what they were like to run in each sizing. So anyway, don't have to worry about that this year. The midsole is now using full React foam. This is interesting too, because the Kiger 8 was mostly React foam, but under the forefoot it did have an air Zoom unit, and I loved it. I absolutely love Zoom, whether it's Zoom X or just Zoom foam. I just love the response, the bounce, and just how it feels. It's playful. I've always said I don't like React foam, and I don't like React foam. I much prefer Zoom foam, so pains me when Nike is kind of pulling any Zoom foam out of their trail running shoes. Doesn't make any sense to me. It's so much better than React foam for trail running. Hopefully one day they'll take note of this. That's not to say it's bad, it's just not as good as Zoom foam. And these shoes feel very good climbing so far, but you don't quite have that response that you might be used to if you run on a Zoom midsole. They now have a 4.5mm drop from heel to toe, and they have a lower stack height. Yeah, really weird. I'm not sure why Nike's gone into halves, fractions on this one. Previous version was 4mm, by the way, so pretty much the same there on the stack height and the drop. And then finally, the Kiger 9 is lighter. So now weighing in at 9.9 ounces, whereas the previous version was 10.4 ounces. So I'm really welcoming this lighter shoe. And I'm guessing that's coming from the React foam. I'm not sure, maybe there's just less material in the upper, even though it feels more cushioned and padded. So yeah, that's an interesting one that they are lighter. They do feel better. So anyway, I'm gonna go into some of the pros and the cons, well, things that I really like about the Kiger 9, and some things that I feel could be improved in the next version, the Kiger 10. Jumping straight into the things I like about the Kiger 9 then. First off, I'm going to have to mention the outsole because it is a marked improvement over the previous version. Let's take a look. Hopefully you can see the lugs are more aggressive. They feel deeper, but it just feels stickier. I'm not sure what it is, whether they changed the rubber compound or not. But also, these lugs towards the toe end, because they're right on the edge of a shoe, I'm able to climb steep gradients very quickly and efficiently without kind of slipping down. The Kiger really does grip into the trail, claws in, and helps me climb quicker without slipping back, so I really like that. The next thing I really like about them is how comfortable the upper feels. It's a lot more cushioned. I really like that about it. It is a double-edged sword for me though. There is something I don't like about it as much. I'll go into that in just a little bit. But if you take a look at it, it's a lot more padded than the previous version. It just feels nice and soft around the collar. The counter feels good too. And the tongue, it's thin and it's kind of gusseted, so it fits around the front of your shin here. So it stays in place, helped by this loop on the tongue, which keeps the laces, well, the laces help keep the tongue in place, which is really nice. But there's also padding on the tongue, like the previous version had. But that stops you feeling the laces on the top of your feet, having this padding here. It seems a lot more durable as well than the previous version. And I like this little toe bumper that they've introduced as well. I don't think that was on the previous version. I feel like it was on the Pegasus Trail 4. I'm losing track of all these Nike trail shoes. But yeah, I really like that. Nice minimal bumper on there. And then the next thing that I'm really liking is how lightweight they are. I mentioned earlier they are lighter than the Terra Kiger 8. And having a much lighter shoe like that makes them so much easier to take you and your shoe up steep inclines. Makes climbing much more efficient and easier, but also gliding over technical terrain, downhill and on the flat. A lighter shoe just enables you to pick up your feet, keep that high cadence stride turnover ticking along at the rate that it should be. So that really sums up the things I really like about the Kiger 9, which is a lot. I'm really liking this. If you watched my Nike 𝙍𝙐𝙉 review last week, then you'll know I really liked that shoe. It had some pros and cons. Again, double-edged sword, it's very much for a certain type of runner and trails that you might want to run on that shoe. But this one I think is going to appeal to most intermediate advanced runners because of just how easily it will tackle technical terrain and how lightweight it feels. And just in general, it's got a really nice feel to it, and you will enjoy running over technical trails in it. It's just that type of shoe, just like the previous version was. Okay, jumping into the features that I feel could be improved for the Kiger 10, the next version. Firstly, I'm going to have to mention the upper. Now, I just said the upper was really good and I like the updates on that. Yes, but it doesn't feel as breathable anymore. So, yes, it feels super comfortable, but if you're running in hot conditions, this upper just isn't as breathable as it used to be, in my opinion. So, my feet are getting quite hot on the climbs. Now, given it is quite a warm day today in Northern California, I feel like spring's finally hit. It's only February, what is it, 24th or something. So yeah, my feet are getting a little warm in there. So something to be aware of, if your feet do run hot when you're running, then you might want to go for slightly thinner socks just to help regulate temperature a little better. And then the next point would be the midsole. Don't like the fact they got rid of the zoom unit under the forefoot area in the midsole. That gave me a lot more sort of bounce, you know, when running on the flats and downhill. The shoe just feels a bit flat in terms of playfulness and response. That's not to say it's not good. It just feels different to the previous version. And I just, like I said before, I prefer Zoom in my midsoles from Nike. It just feels like a better shoe, feels like a better foam for me, especially on trails. If you're enjoying this Nike Kiger 9 review, delicately tap that like button and subscribe to our channel for more running shoe reviews just like this one. We do our best to bring you outside of the office, take away that office backdrop in our reviews, because we want to bring you along with us on our runs, whether it's on the road or trail, just to bring some more story to our reviews and give you a little bit of light entertainment, show you where we like to run, stuff like that. So I really hope you appreciate a little extra effort we go through. If you do, like I said, delicately tap that like button and subscribe to our channel for more running shoe reviews just like this one. All right, let's bring this review to a close. Are the Kiger 9s worth $150 then? Yes. Yeah, they're worth it. Really enjoying these trail running shoes. Having a lot of fun on them over very mixed terrain, which is my favorite kind of trails. I like to run on technical stuff, steep uphills, steep downhills, bit of flat, bit of mud, bit of hard packed rocks, roots, forests. I love all of that, and that's my way of testing trail running shoes to make sure they do perform on as much terrain as possible, so I can give you a really informed decision into whether these running shoes are going to be for you. So, thumbs up for the Nike Kiger 9 from me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.